So this is Ninja Spirit. It's a Game Boy version. There's an arcade version and a Turbo Graphics version, but this is the Game Boy version. It's still a pretty good game. Well, people say Ninja Spirit for Game Boy is not that great of a game, but the speedrun's pretty cool. So Ninja Spirit, the main thing that's about this game is, of course, the Ninja Spirit. There's two power-ups. There's one that upgrades your sword that gives you this bubble whenever you attack, and it increases your range. The hitbox is actually really large, like a quarter of your screen it could be. This is crazy insane. And then there's this Ninja Spirit upgrade. This PvE video I upgrade. None of us really knew there was secondary weapons, and I found that the bomb actually defeats the stage 1 boss quicker than the sword by about 11 seconds. So this is the first boss, and you can see I'm just spamming the bomb into its face. Yeah, that was like 7 seconds. Main problem with this boss is it has a long explosion time, about 30 seconds. That's the only... I mean, the other bosses explode too, but this one takes the longest. And I believe this boss runs on a frame rule, because sometimes it'll end. Okay, it takes 20 seconds. Sometimes it'll end at a different... like the boss explosion will end at a different time. So this is stage 2, and it's really important you get your last Ninja Spirit upgrade. You only can have up to 2 spirits. And so that upgrade I got, it has a ball on each end, kind of like a barbell. It just defeats every enemy on screen for like 5 seconds. And this one's the force. It's pretty basic, and you want to damage boost this boss to defeat him in a few seconds. So this game is important not to take as much damage as possible, because there's 2 areas of the game where you damage boost to defeat bosses. The boss in the forest and this stage boss. That samurai you just saw spawns randomly. Sometimes he won't even spawn at all. So the enemies in this game have completely random spawns. They're not the same. Each stage is relatively short. It's about less than a minute. And this is the 3rd boss where you damage boost. You take 1 hit, and then it saves about 1 to 2 seconds. But it's really important in a game that's less than 7 minutes of a speed run. This is the 4th stage. It's like a traditional Japanese village and a cave. It has 2 parts. And at this point you can walk on the ceiling, which is pretty important because you're going to be switching planes just to avoid enemies. Rather than attacking the enemies and jumping along the way, you're just going to jump and dodge that samurai. So this is the transition to the cave. You're just going to walk on the ceiling the entire time and just ignore that ninja that's trying to get you. There are 3 spawns at the end of this part of the stage right here that will sometimes not occur at all, and we're not sure if we can manipulate that at all. But I seem to get it like 1 in 20th of a chance. This is the 3rd part of the stage. It's the cave, and you can jump straight into the ceiling and it'll push you right back. So it's important to jump and to attack at the same time. That way you're not losing movement speed. And this is the 4th boss. It's like a bunch of evil blocks, and the best you can do is attack them both at the same time with your ninja spirits, and that's a pretty good boss fight. Stop, kitty cat. Again, the explosions take too long. This stage can be a run killer, because you don't want to take damage to that the geysers that come out of the mountain wall, and your jumping has to be pretty specific, because there's some platforms you can't reach in a single jump. And this is really short. This is the 5th boss. It's the ninja kite, or the kite with ninjas, And you want to position your spirits to where they're all attacking it, and you can defeat it within a few seconds. And this is the 6th stage. This stage kind of reminds me of the NES game, The Karate Kid. That's it. And it can be pretty easy to take damage because you want to keep your momentum. I believe I just took a shot of damage right there. I'm not too sure. But you want to make it to the final boss with at least two to three hits of damage. That way, if you get hit during the final boss, you can attack him in time. This boss is fairly simple. You just stay stationary, and you switch from attacking him left to right with your spirits. And after 3 cycles, it's over. The biggest problem a lot of people have with that boss is that they try to move and attack him. You just stand still. And this is the final stage. It's a cave, and then you're going to be fighting a large skeleton that shoots electricity at you, like long beams of electricity that follow. First, you're going to want to attack this guy on the left, collect the power up, and attack the guy on the right and collect the power up. Otherwise, the boss won't spawn. I didn't know that at first. See, I'm trying to get him to spawn, and now this is the hard part because the electricity has a weird spawn rate. And you just want to attack. You just want to attack him as much as you can with the ninja spirits. So that's Ninja Spirit. It's a really cool speedrun to try to optimize. Casually, people don't really enjoy it because it's fairly difficult. Yeah. We're going to move on to our next game right away. I'll turn off the Ninja Spirit soundtrack.